Hello. I guess it's time for me to start. Well, here are your finalists. I'm pretty pleased. How about you? Now, we know you guys want to get right into the game, so we won't ask too many questions. But, Polt, you're facing the tyrant, the Dong. What do you have to say to him?
I have no word because I'm so sorry to him.
Oh, are you sorry? What are you sorry for?
I think he knows more than me.
All right. Now, Jaedong, you will face the new President of the United States, Captain America. What will you say to him?
English?
If you can.
I'm sorry too.
Well said. Go ahead and shake hands. Good luck. Have fun. All right, guys. It's my distinct pleasure to introduce you to the Lone Star Clash 3 trophy. The Lone Ranger's crown, if you will. They're vying for this beautiful hat. And the casters, I believe, have a fashion statement of their own. So I will throw it to you guys. Rotterdam and in control.
No? Thank you very much, Anna. Don't think we have much in the way of a fashion statement to make, so much as just kind of raw sex appeal that we just constantly exude. But
we're bringing the 80s back, baby.
It's too bad that both Polt and Jaedong are sorry, because I don't think anyone else is sorry about this final. This is a dream final for Lone Star and for everybody else.
Yeah, it's really cool. When you look at the start of this tournament, so many amazing players, but you're like, you know, Polt and Jaedong. If I would have to pick one of the two, then I'd probably go with those two. Or like if I would have to pick two players of the entire tournament, it's really awesome to see them in the final. Of course, you know, for the people who don't know, they played against each other once upon a time at a very big stage. WCS America Grand Final Season 2, 2013. Back then, the victory was 4-0 in favor of Polt.
And it wasn't close. I was super hyped for that match, but Polt was playing like a man on fire, and he made Jaedong look like a scrub. And I'll tell you, having not asked Jaedong, I would imagine he remembers that final. And I feel like, and I was reading again the comments in the threads on the various forums about this, talking about how Jaedong's ZVT now and then is very different. And I do feel like that is the case. I feel like certainly statistically right now his ZVT is shown to be a lot better, but his opponents have not all been of the caliber of Polt. And again, we're in the grand finals, and once again, Jaedong stares down the face of, is it another second place, or does he finally win a big tournament this year?
Yeah, and not just that, I'm not sure why. I guess we're going to figure out the map order right now, because of course we are playing a best of 7, guys. That means no map vetoes. This is going to be our map pool. Altazim Stronghold, Frost, Habitation Station, King's Young Station, Merry-Go-Round, Overgrove, and Way Station. And of course, you know, we can go back to that final. And yes, Polt won 4-0 back then, but none of the maps that they played on back then is currently being played.
And they were very different. I remember that map pool.
Like Derelict, Watcher.
Thank you. I was just going to say, I couldn't name him for crap, but yes. Derek Watcher, I
probably
think.
Belcher Vestige.
Belcher Vestige, Aklon Waste, maybe?
Yeah, Aklon was probably. Yeah, Aklon was played.
Very different. What was that snow one that do you remember that?
Yeah, I think I know which one.
Sorry for putting you on the spot. We both can't remember. It was a while ago. It was 2013.
Not Entombed Valley, right?
No.
It was
the
after
snow
that.
one, remember? Anyways,
there are quite a few
we'll do that later. We did that again. The point is, those were all like very medium-sized maps. The third was kind of far away. They played very different. In this current map pool, it's a strong mix of either gigantic maps in the potential with Way Station or even Altazim, or it can be medium-sized. Not too many in the way of small maps, I would say. I think the smallest it gets is perhaps bottom left, top right, Way Station, or even Habitation Station. But otherwise, pretty large maps for the most part.
I know which one you meant. You meant Neoplanet S.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I had the big S shape in the middle. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I distinctly remember Polt smashing him there really, really hard.
Yeah, the Aklon, sorry, the Derelict game was still close, but after 2-0, after Jaedong kind of played his heart out and it wasn't enough, it seemed like he was mentally broken. Either way, I don't think that's going to happen today. We're going to get ready for an amazing best of 7, hopefully, between Cooler, Master Storm, Polt, and EG's Jaedong. Jeff, as we can see, we're already ready. Our first map is going to be played on Way Station, of course, an awesome map for Zerk. And Jeff, you can go ahead and introduce the players properly.
Absolutely. So guys, let's do this. This is the final match. Give it all you got. In the top left-hand side, the red Zerg from Team Evil Geniuses, the tyrant himself, Jaedong. And his opponent from Cooler Master, an expatriate of Korea, now the current president of the United States of America, and also star of the recent movie Winter Soldier. It is Polt.
You know,
Both fan favorites.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're both fantastic players. They're both fantastic personalities. They've been around for a long time, already really successful in StarCraft 2. This is not that story where like, oh, we've never heard of these guys, and suddenly they're in the final. No, these are two names that you normally expect in a final of a tournament like this. Neither of them had it easy. Jaedong definitely sweat a little bit against Stefano, being down 2-1 in the quarterfinals. And of course, Polt was on the ropes against Bomber, as he was trailing 2-1 as well in his semifinals. But in the end, they were both able to make it. And you know, this map was just a lot better for Zerg than it has been in a long time, let's just be honest. These maps are large, they're wide open, and we saw it as well with Polt, and this map was even worse than I think the one we were using at WCS America Season 1. Polt doesn't look as untouchable in this matchup as he did in 2013, as he recently lost to his teammate Revival on a very big stage.
I would even say, stepping outside of this and going more generic, Zergs in general seem to have a lot more confidence and swagger in the ZVT. There was a period of time there, I think back to even that WCS match where Polt did put down Jaedong so hard. Polt wasn't the only Terran on an absolute tear at that time. They just seem to have kind of a metagame stronghold at the point. But right now, it's a little bit more even, and actually the most recent Blizzard patch notes, they're saying it's actually swung a little bit in favor of Zerg statistically. So that again, that's just kind of coloring to what's going on here. This is any given Sunday. And also, speaking to these players specifically, Polt kind of maintains an immunity to the metagame and what people, you know, the back and forth. He's just consistently actually been really good at all three matchups. You almost never say, well, in this matchup, Polt seems to really be struggling right now. He actually does pretty damn good across all three matchups and always has.
You know, saying that there is a real rivalry between these two players might be slightly exaggerated. But I do remember when like Jaedong was watching in Canada and he was watching a couple of the games backstage of Polt. And I saw him like, I've never seen Jaedong like that, but he was like slightly irritated. He's like, Polt, every game, same build, same build.
Yes.
And like, he's really not a big fan of that. Like he was kind of mocking it in a funny way. So I think that Jaedong is very, very eager on defeating Polt. Of course, whenever you're in the final of a tournament, you're always going to do your absolute best. But I think it would give him extra satisfaction of beating Polt.
I like the point you bring up. Jaedong comes from Brood War royalty, and in that day and age, at that level of Brood War, you did not do the same one build. You could not get away with that. There's very few people that could. For the most part, you were practicing for a very specific map, a very specific matchup, and you were playing against players that were so good that if you were predictable and did the exact same build every single time, there was some matchups, but not to get into specifics, you would be in trouble. So I could see why Jaedong, coming from that kind of lineage, would see that here. Now, we do have 3 Reapers. The third one comes out, and it's not going to stay back at the natural. It's not worried about his slow Zergling counterattack. So Jaedong's already under a lot of pressure, but he too has opened up speed. So 3 Reapers, if they overstay their welcome, they can get ran down mid-map.
I'm very surprised that Polt is bringing this Reaper across the map because he's going to almost have to send him back immediately. Now, there are a lot of cliffs on this map where Reapers can hop up and down, up and down. There are not that many Zerglings on the map just yet, as Jaedong has been droning quite heavily, as we can see. But speed is about to get ready, and if they start clicking on one of these Reapers, but Polt is really good. He probably saw the extractor. He just knows that, you know, that's the map you can do. It's like, all right, 110 seconds after my opponent has mined 100 gas, that's when he's going to get speed. It's going to get a little close, but Polt, you know, just counting, he definitely like counted this out to the second. He just knows when speed is ready, and he knows when he's going to make it home safely.
This is not dumb luck by any means. He knows exactly when to go home. We see Jaedong taking the southern base as his third. Reapers in that bunker are going to be completely safe, and to Jaedong's credit as well, it's not like he made 20 speedlings that are now completely wasted. He did go speed, but it was really just to be responsive to whatever it is Polt's going to opt for here. Polt does have a starport going on behind this. I've seen Cloaked Banshee from him in this matchup. It wouldn't be with the tech lab at the... You know what? I've fallen for this trap before. I started to talk about that, and then I started talking about how he does 4 Marauder drops, but he's actually moved on to, yes, he'll add a Marauder or 2. Maybe it will be the 4 Marauders, but for the most part, it's just kind of a quick Marine Marauder push out to supplement the Hellion Reaper that we see so commonly.
Yeah, not just that. Polt has always been one of these players that likes to add in a Marauder pretty early on. If it's not just for the fact that, hey, what if he throws 5-6 roaches across to my face? Now, it's very unlikely on Waystation. It's such a big map, so it's probably not just for that. But it's always nice to have that Marauder, and Polt just he is able to squeeze it into his build without it really slowing anything else down. Like, he thinks well about his build, and once he has a build that he likes, it's pretty much the only thing that he does for months straight.
Jaedong gathering a little bit of intel with that Overlord, sneaking in there and spotting the barracks with its tech lab already spinning and churning. Also an Overlord at the tower. Of course, this guy will be in danger when those Marines make their way across the map, but for right now, Jaedong wants him off the tower because he's going for a bit of a counterattack.
Here come the Zerglings, but a lot of additional Hellions are coming in as well. Jaedong is still going to try to pick up a couple of these units, gets 2 Hellions and a Reaper, and almost loses nothing, but he should go back with these Queens, though.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. He is off creep, and these Queens are very slow. He's going to use the Zerglings to kind of zone out space, and it looks like he will be able to get himself to creep. Getting 2 Hellions there is really nice because that 6 Hellion, 3 Reaper harass is actually a legitimate threat to killing a lot of Zerglings. I think back to Polt versus Cats actually to start off the Lone Star Clash 3, and that was the undoing of Cats. But obviously here we see Jaedong able to manage it a little bit stronger.
Jaedong has a lot of speedlings on the map. He wants to shut this down right in and right now, but so far, excellent control by Polt. Not really getting anything surrounded, and there are more Hellions and a few Marauders at home as well. This is really old school. You remember that game that we spoke about before, the Stefano Polt game from Lone Star Clash 1, when it was just Marauder Hellion against Roach Sling?
Oh, that build, man, you just reminded me. And speaking of the devil, actually, there's still more Hellions coming out, as you said. There's actually up to 8 here, 10 back at home.
That's a really bizarre
all things
build.
considered. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a weird kind of going for the third timing attack of sorts. But Jaedong is on the cusp of having 1-1 with his melee. And while Lings aren't fantastic against Hellions, at 1-1 in large numbers, as long as they don't get lined all up, they will be a response.
Yeah, really interesting build over here by Polt. I don't think this is the type of build that we are going to see 7 games in a row if it goes to all 7.
No, yeah.
This is definitely a little different. Maybe just a special for Way Station, as this can be a very tricky map. There are not that many Zerglings on the map right now, but 28 on creep might be enough. Off creep, it's not going to be enough.
Also have a drop inside the main. I believe those are the Marauders. If you take a look up there, yes, they are. They're Queen sniping force. They can pick off drones, but also if they find a building at low health, they can do a lot of damage there. Jaedong's going to swing in with a lot of Zerglings, and obviously that's more than enough for the response, but Polt already starting up with his multitask. He spots the Spire.
Oh, this is really nice. He's pulling the Zerglings out of position, and he's going to use these head run into the third base. And if Jaedong sends all of his Zerglings over here, he might end up losing the Spire.
And he is being taxed back there. The backfield, I think Zerglings are cleaning up the Marauders, but we can see here that some of those drones are dying. In the end, though, the Queens will clean it up. And if we take a look at the Harvester's loss, 21 drones have died. That is a huge number of drones. My question to you, though, is with the amount of Hellions he made, I think it was worth it, but I don't know, that 21 drones is a little bit misleading, because look at the standing army of Polt.
It is indeed a little bit misleading, but I still think that is a number that Polt is quite pleased with. You know, in best case scenario, he also cancels a building, but mining time has been lost. So many Zerglings has been produced. Right now, Jaedong has less workers than Polt, and that is almost a never good. That's never a good sign for a Zerg player.
Never a good thing. Yeah. No. He'd like to be building a 4th right now, but because he's replenishing drones and getting Mulas out, he obviously cannot do that. I think one saving grace for Jaedong is just the size of this map. I mean, a lot of times Terran players will do that kind of an attack, do that kind of damage, and then the Marine medevac follow-up is devastating, clearing creep and doing all kinds of damage that way. But Polt just has so much space between him and Jaedong that for right now, the creep is untouched, and the Mulas are actually looking to even be aggressive, which is something you almost never see at this stage of his EVT.
He doesn't really have the numbers for it just yet, though. I mean, we have 9 Mulas right now that most of the time, like 4 or 5 Marines are going to push it back immediately. They won't win the fight.
No,
the Zerg player will never want to fight those Marines because, you know, you don't want to trade Mulas for Marines pretty much ever. I think that Polt is very pleased with how this game went so far. He just got the right amount of drones. Obviously, getting more would be fantastic, but 21 is still a very serious number.
Oh, yeah.
This Viking, I don't know where it is right now, but it was cruising around, killed 4 Overlords. So there are pretty much no Overlords on the map right now. A couple of these Queens are quite exposed. I don't think we have a whole lot of Banelings. We don't have a single Baneling on the map right now.
No, so he's just not making 4, and speed is nearing completion, but it won't be there for this fight. Right now, Polt's just zoning out and again, getting some creep, fighting back on that left side. There's a lot of tumors out there, so it's good that he's starting to work on this creep spread because that can get out of hand really quick. I like this this random Widow Mine. I mean, I like when Terrans do that. Obviously, as you can see, it's not so random. He's keeping it in pretty close conjunction with his force. But again, working on those creep tumors, and Jaedong's going to look to the third, but in the backfield, he's losing a lot of creep.
Yeah, he's losing a lot of creep. There are a few misters here, but they're a little bit out of position, so Polt is going to have to send quite a few Marines to deal with this. As we can see, he's producing Marines, you know, non-stop and quite a few at a time. He's even going to sim back some of his old Marines. So this is okay for Jaedong, you know, he gets a little bit of breathing room and he pulls the units out of position, but still, Jaedong does not want to lose his creep.
No, and that's one nice thing that Polt's working with. But I'll tell you, Rotterdam, your analysis is spot on because you can see how late that fourth is for Jaedong. Again, normally that's up and at least mining gas right now, but it's just now hitting 50% or passing 50%, excuse me. Polt's done such a good job with that opening of applying the economic pressure. And as you can see here again, Polt 161 supply, Jaedong about the same, but that's a really heavy supply for Polt as well. And a lot of times Zergs can minimize that with Baneling connections, but he's even late on that as well.
Jaedong is ahead in upgrades though, and that is something that is very nice for him. As we see +2 attack already being ready, +2 armor about to finish up. This might be a moment where you can fight with 2-2 against 1-1. That would be good.
The Banelings wrap around the bend there, though. They're getting exposed just a little bit. They're off creep right now. So this could be okay for Polt, but Polt's going to have to run back and get joined up by that massive force. Zerg is going for the surround.
This is bad
Banelings
for
once again get picked off, and Jaedong's going to go for the hit, but there's not a lot of Banelings here. I don't know that he should be taking this. The upgrade advantage is nice, but it shouldn't be enough. Polt does kite back. More Banelings joining the force. A lot of medevacs getting targeted down. That being said, though, well, there's not a lot of though here. Jaedong is actually pulling this out.
Eventually, he's somehow cleaning this up. I'm really surprised. Maybe the upgrades were more important in this fight. After all, those 2-2, like just now, 2-2 is going to finish up for Polt. He should still have enough to easily defend at home, though. The good thing is for Jaedong, the majority of the units he lost were Zerglings and Banelings. It looked scary, but he kept his Mutalisk alive, and that is super important.
Yeah, Polt was not in danger of losing right there, but I really felt like that fight went better for Jaedong than I imagined. They were fighting off creep. As you said, it was like a total of maybe 10 or 12 Banelings. A lot of times we see 15 or 20, like we see very large numbers to get that kind of damage done. So I feel like on a poor man's budget, Jaedong was able to accomplish a pretty decent goal. And already we see him actually using the infestation pit to get up to Hive and hopefully hit up those 3-3 upgrades that keep him in the game with Polt.
Why I was so worried for Jaedong is because it was kind of an awkward engagement. Few Banelings went via the south side of this little, I don't know, how do you call this? What is it even?
This is a ship that hit, it's a ship driving into the station, I think.
All right.
That makes all the sense in the world.
A couple of Banelings went south of this, a couple of Banelings rolled over, over here north, and that's normally very bad. When Banelings roll in like that, it makes it a lot easier for the template to split up the units. But in the end, Polt still, or I mean Jaedong still came out okay of that, but definitely not ahead by any means.
Couldn't agree more. Fourth base being established for Polt, and you know, we talked about these large maps as a huge boon for the Zerg player, but let's also give credit where credit's due. I mean, Polt, he's taken this fourth base. There's not even a threat for it at all, right? And a lot of times on these medium-sized maps, that can be delayed by burrowed units, creep, or even just Ling, you know, kind of hit forces running around the map. But Jaedong doesn't really have that on his menu, as it were, because it's such a large map. He's just now being informed it's being taken, and it's kind of too late.
And if there's one thing that still stands out of that series that we casted, or that I saw back then between Jaedong and Polt, it is that Polt was always able to go up to 4 bases completely uncontested. And like it looked like Jaedong was doing okay, but he never dealt any economic damage. And if you're fighting against 3-3 bio, and Terran is just taking 4 bases with absolutely no problem, eventually you're in for a pretty hard time. It's going to be hard for Jaedong to completely stomp Polt. However, this might be the engagement that Jaedong can dream of.
He's on creep. Here comes the big wraparound from Jaedong. He's going to need to spread out those Thors, do such massive damage. Baneling's looking for the connections. They're hitting mostly Thors right now, but there's not a lot of Bioforce. So far, Jaedong is getting good connections on the Thors and is moving into the Marines. He cleans that up as well. His Mutalisk count remains fairly high. There's still a Bioforce back at home. A 5th base was canceled in the background. But Jaedong will take that victory to the bank because a lot of Thors were cleaned up there as well as Hellbats.
Yeah, definitely. That was a beautiful engagement by Jaedong. It was a little over-eager perhaps by Polt to just go out that far with reinforcements being that far away. And this was also kind of like an in-between everything timing. I'm not really sure.
That mini-map. Jaedong is sensing weakness. He's going for blood. There's a huge amount of just red coming from everywhere. Medevac's getting focused down. There will be no escape for Polt. Baneling's kind of whiffing there. They're heading towards the Marauders. That's not optimal, but Polt doesn't have much in the way of an answer right now. And it looks like Jaedong is actually going to satisfy himself with killing a few middle units here, but otherwise, these bases are really buttoned up. I mean, there's a lot of Banelings coming through here, but there's 3 missile turrets in a planetary fortress down there. It's a very strong base.
Jaedong just has so much more right now than Polt. He is going to go for it. This is actually kind of a risky move, but he should eventually take out this planetary, right? No, he's
you think that. You say that. Yes, he's well died. And the planetary fortress does go down. Jaedong evacuating the Mutalisk means that wasn't as expensive as it could have been, but again, I have to say, a lot of those banelings wandered into Hellbats, they wandered into Thors, they weren't getting the connections they needed. So while that looks like a huge victory for Jaedong, it's not as big as it could have been, I guess.
No, but this is really nice though. He's running a bunch of Zerglings right now into this third base. He can work on those missile turrets. This is really annoying for Polt.
And down
now
here,
Zerglings working on these missile turrets and these mules as well. Jaedong is all over the place.
This is the Jaedong that can win tournaments. When he's all over the place, making those reads, looking really good. He's thinning out Polt, but I do want to say there's a growing concern here as well. Jaedong has been on 4 bases and is not looking to take a 5th. He tried one time, it got shut down. Right now, that's not the biggest of concerns, but as that main and that natural start to thin out and get mined out, not having a 5th base could be what allows Polt to outlast Jaedong.
Jaedong does have a very good upgrade, so like how often do you see a Zerg player having +3 on his Mutalisk that quickly?
Every single day. No, you're right. It's actually really, really good. It allows, and he's also got 3/3 incoming on the melee. Ultralist tech here switching.
Already has Adrenal Glands as well, so
things are looking good for him. But like I said, I'm just concerned. I mean, nice harass over here on the right side as well. And because Polt's having a tough time digging in his pockets looking for, well, hold that thought. Yeah, he does. He loses the orbital. Nice pick off there. Again, slowing down the juggernaut that is Polt. And he's even moving around on the left side of the map. There's a chance he might circle around and Baneling bust the Planetary Fortress, although that would be really expensive gas-wise.
Army supply is out of control right now for Polt, though. He has 120 army supply. The biggest problem for Polt is he's just defending. He's forced to cancel that command center as well. Jaedong being really effective with his Mutalisk.
I think we're going to have a Baneling bust on the left side. I know, he just made 21 more Banelings.
Does he have Burrow? He's getting Burrow right now.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. That's a thing of, well... not a bust. Well, no, okay.
Blow up the SCVs.
Maybe he doesn't bust, but he's going to look to hit all the SCVs or something. Or nothing. He was well-intentioned with that, though. 5th base is being attempted, but you can kind of see the struggle on Way Station. Look how close that 5th base is to the, whatever you want to call that, 3rd or 4th base of Polt. The Zerg's starting to expand towards the Terran, and that's never something you want to do.
I must say, I find it surprising to see that Jaedong has lost 24 Mutalisks throughout the entire game. It really didn't feel like that. I guess he lost a bunch over here when he tried to kill the Planetary, but he always had a solid Muta count. It never really felt like, oh, he doesn't really have enough Mutas right now to do something with it. So despite losing a few, he's done an excellent job in rebuilding them. He just has to worry about this massive, massive, massive Terran army that's going to make its way across the map. Polt is up.
Gotta be so careful. The Thors pack such a wall up. He loses the Overseer for a medevac. Of course, that's a fine trade. We're going to have a little bit of a counterattack. Jaedong wants to do some damage to that Planetary Fortress. Polt, with that slow, cumbersome armies all the way across the map, the fortress is being challenged. SCV's getting targeted down, and Polt says, I am not coming home. He's going to go for what could end up being a base trade, but with burrowed Banelings, we have to look around the map. If he can pop some burrowed Banelings against that Bioforce, holy cow.
Yeah, how many scans does Polt really have? He lost his orbital before already. It's not even an orbital right now. He's only on 2 orbital commands. He doesn't even have a whole lot of energy. Burrowed Banelings could indeed be absolutely fantastic, but above all, I think if they're gonna fight on creep, that should be a fight that the Dong should be able to win.
I think Jaedong is sizing up that force over there, and he's agreeing with you, Rotterdam. A lot of